Gonzaga rolling along, right? Baylor drops a spot in the AP poll. I mean, no shame in that loss. And then Michigan takes their spot. I think Michigan's right up there. I mean, don't you think so?
Yeah. I think.
Easy, Sudeikis.
Hey, I'll take that. I don't know why I struggle with that so much.
I mean, this is for me, the coolest thing that a group of, that's nuts. Especially, that's crazy. Okay. All right. Wow. Well, here's what I'll say. I'll say this.
Hey, great weekend for Jayhawks. Jason Sudeikis wins Best Actor in a comedy series at the Golden Globes. And KU beats Baylor. So I'll take the Jason Sudeikis reference.
This is Basketball Friends. That's Nick Schwerdt. I'm Matt Tait, a little more composed right over here. But hey, KU with a huge victory on Saturday night over number 2 Baylor, 71-58. Big Dave McCormack, 20 points, 8 of 10 shooting. Baylor had absolutely no answer for the guy from the start.
Is David McCormack first team all Big 12? I kind of feel like he deserves a spot. If we're just saying there's going to be a big guy, because you could easily just put 5 guards on the first team. If you're going to include a big guy, which big guy in the Big 12 has been better than David McCormack this year?
Yeah, it's a tough call. I struggle with it because great against Baylor. He's had a great February. He didn't look very good against Texas, and that was 4 nights earlier. I don't know if he's at that level, and I'm not trying to disrespect the guy. I just think that he still has a tendency to struggle and to take games where he kind of just gets too sped up, disappears, whatever you want to call it. He still has that in his bag of tricks, and he's been way more consistent, and he's been very good. But all Big 12, man, that is...
Okay, so which big guy you putting ahead of him? You putting Derek Culver ahead of him? Derek Culver, who's actually less efficient from the field than David. He's a much better rebounder. He is shooting about 50% from the field. He is a horrific free throw shooter. Whether or not he ends up on that list or not, I think the fact that we can even have that conversation about him speaks volumes to how far he's come this year. I can't think of another player who even comes close to the trajectory and sort of the arc that David McCormack has been on this season.
He turned a season that was in the tank into a season that's been pretty good and pretty consistent and pretty big for his team.
I asked Bill after the game on Saturday night if he felt like that win over Baylor was validation for the season, and he sort of pushed back on the idea that one game can mean that much. But then he sort of pivoted and said, but this isn't the best team we've had. We've had teams with better records. We've had teams with a better resume heading into March, but those teams weren't always on an uptick. This team is playing their best basketball at the most important time of the season for a team that had no confidence and no identity. They've got all the confidence in the world, and they've got the identity of, in my opinion, being one of the elite defenses in the country. That can't be understated.
Yeah, and they did, again, 58 points against one of the top offenses in the country. Now, there have been some people out there that want to say that KU didn't catch the real Baylor. I don't know that that's true, and I don't know that matters.
It doesn't matter. That's the point right there. It may matter for Baylor. Like, if we want to have a conversation about Baylor and where they're at and where they're going, that's fine.
Then we would call this Baylor Friends.
Yeah, but it's not Baylor Friends. It's Basketball Friends, which I guess Baylor's a basketball team and Kansas is, so that kind of ruins the point there. But this is a KU conversation, and for KU, on their resume, they still beat 18-0 Baylor. And in that locker room, for their psyche, for their confidence, do you think any of those guys are going to sit there this week and go, Baylor's not the same Baylor team they were a month ago, so I guess we shouldn't really celebrate and we shouldn't really prop that win up? No. They still look at it as we beat 18-0 Baylor. And again, for a team that was lacking in confidence for so much this season, it's not going to matter to them.
There is one team in college basketball, at least as of this recording, that has done what no other team in college basketball could do this year, and that was beat Baylor. If you can do what this team did to Baylor the other night, you've proven that you can play with anybody in the country. Are we going to just sit here and act like you don't have a new background? I mean...
Oh yeah, you
you're
like that?
A whole new man. You look like you join the big leagues.
Want me to give you the grand tour?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you got?
You got a little Tracy McGrady bobblehead right here. You've got some real plant. Wait, there we go. Some plants. You got a skull here. That guy's pretty mean. A whiskey decanter. Dr. J still making an appearance. You got some Jimi Hendrix up here. And obviously a ton of books, all of which I have absolutely read.
Did you arrange them in the color of the rainbows? Like, because you read on Instagram or something that is attractive to women?
I Googled how to make a good Zoom background. There will be more. Trust me, I'm still working on the fish. I know people forgot. You think I forgot? I got a sea bass en route. Should be here within weeks. So Mitch and Chris Tehan announced they're coming back for they're coming back for another season using their extra year of eligibility. Mitch would have been a senior last year, redshirted. This year, he's a redshirt senior. So next year, what do we call him? A
super senior.
Is it a super senior? Do we call him a redshirt double senior? I don't know, because I think he'll actually end up passing Brady Morningstar, won't he? For most games played, for most time spent with the program.
Yeah. So Brady did the prep school thing, and that made Brady older.
That's true.
He's not going to probably catch him there unless he sticks it out another year, which he damn sure might try to do.
How the hell are you going to pull that off? Get a 7th season?
I don't know. If anybody can do it, Mitch can. I mean, I don't doubt him for a second.
All right, it's time for another edition of Name That Player. The game is simple. Matt, I will give you a quote in which Bill Self is talking about either a current or a former Kansas basketball player. It is your job to identify which player Bill Self is referencing. I believe you have missed 2 in a row, maybe 3 in a row. Yeah, okay, it's 2 in a row. So looking to end another losing streak, and I'm going to give you that opportunity right now.
We have reached the point where I'm just trying to make good guesses so I can save some face. I want to get them right, but boy, that's secondary to just don't face plant.
All right, so this quote's a little bit different. I will give you a hint on the front end. This is Bill Self's introduction for this player at senior night. Ladies and gentlemen, the best guard I've ever coached. ...
B-I-F-M. Frank Mason, baby. I'll never forget that because Self doesn't say things lightly. When he said that, and I'm sitting courtside and I hear this thing while I'm trying to write, and do both. I go, oh my. He's had some good freaking guards, and he didn't even blink when he said that.
I would push back a little bit on the idea that Bill Self never says things like that. That's literally the point of this game that we play every single week. I mean, I can go through some of the quotes I've given you in recent weeks. He's the best guard we've ever recruited. We've never recruited anyone brighter. He shoots it as well as anyone we've ever recruited. He's the most talented player I've ever recruited. He may be the most talented kid I've ever worked with. He's the most talented player he'd ever coached.
We get it. We get it.
These are all different players. These are all different players, by the way, that I'm referencing.
He meant every damn one of those things,
I
right?
believe it, yeah.
And you can't find him saying that about anybody else. All those things you just listed, he hasn't said that about anybody else.
Frank Mason, I don't know if you remember this, a couple of months ago, he had tweeted out that he wanted to be the next coach at Kansas. Do you think Frank Mason would make a good coach?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Is that real, though? He really said that?
Let me find the quote. Let me find it. Where the hell is it? God, he tweets more than I would have guessed. He's tweeting about stocks and Bitcoin. He tweeted on January 6th, Twitter is my new favorite social media. Okay, so he tweeted on January 5th, quote, someone tell Coach Self that I want to be the next head coach at Kansas when my professional career is over. And then he went on to say, a national championship is still one of my life goals. Let's make it happen. BICM.
I like that. I can't believe I missed this. That's absolutely wonderful. He's got some work to do. He needs to show he can coach, right? He's got to climb the ranks and do some time there, but I think he'd be a really good coach.
Yeah, give him some time. He did say he wants his son Amari to be the starting point guard. So let's just say 2031 Frank Mason takes over for Bill Self, and Mitch Lightfoot will be the starting power forward in his 15th season at Kansas.